Hello, thanks for stopping by. Tonight I'm going to be making a French classic bouillabaisse. I'm going to be using local ingredients because I live in Florida and I have some nice fresh Caribbean red snapper and some Caribbean lobster tail that we're gonna put in the stew. And I also have some other ingredients here that we're going to use. So we're going to use the red snapper for the bouillabaisse. Now you are wondering probably why I have these, fish bones here. The reason why I have the fish bones is because I'm going to make a fish fumet, which is a fancy way of saying fish stock, and we're gonna make it in my stock pot here. And the fish stock is made with mushrooms, with parsley. Also, we're gonna use some of these leeks. We're gonna use some onions, that shallot, the bay leaf, and thyme. And then we're gonna move to making the bouillabaisse, and I'm gonna have to cut the red snapper. If you want to see a tutorial on how to fillet fish at home, I will put a link down in the description so you can see my video on how to fillet fish. If you don't want to mess around with that, you can ask your fish guy to fillet the fish for you and remove the skin, and you can do it like that. I'm going to put the preparation of the fish fumet at the end of the video if you want to see how it's made, but for now we're going to get to the good part. All right, so step one, we're going to finely chop the white of a leek, onion, and the fennel, and we're gonna start slowly cooking that in a pot. All right, so here in my pot I have some olive oil and butter, and I'm going to add the onion, the white of the leek, and the fennel, and I'm gently going to cook this for a couple of minutes on low heat. The next thing here is this blanched tomato that I'm going to peel. I'll run it through the blender, and then I'm going to add it right here on top of the onion, the fennel, and the white leek. I just want to remove the solids from that tomato. That's why I'm running it through the strainer like this. So I end up with very fine, pure tomato puree. And this is what it should look like. And I'm gonna add a little bay leaf, and I'm gonna evaporate some of that water from the tomato for a couple of minutes. And as you can see on this side, I have my fish fumet that is almost ready, and I'm going to add that to the pot. All right, so this is what the tomato puree looks like, and we're reducing the water content in it a little bit before we add the fish and the fish stock. The next thing that I'm going to do is season my fish with salt and pepper. You see how the tomato puree has turned into this thick paste. So I think it's time to add the fish to the pot. Once when the fish is in the pot, I'm going to grab some of that fish fumet, and I'm just going to put it in here a little bit, just like that. Okay, and then I have a little bit of shrimp stock. I'm gonna put a splash of that in there also, and I'm gonna turn the heat on high until it starts boiling, and then we're going to add some other exciting ingredients. So I have some saffron here because you can have bouillabaisse without saffron. And I'm just gonna put this butter in here in the pot, and let me show you the saffron. Okay, so I have some saffron petals here, and they're wrapped in this paper. And see, oh la la, it's actually saffron powder, and that's gonna incorporate real nicely in the bouillabaisse. Oh my god, this is gonna be absolutely amazing. I put the lid on the pot and I'm gonna, simmer it there for about 5 minutes, and after that we're going to add the lobster. The next thing that we have to do is cut up that lobster tail, and cutting up the lobster tail is done like this. I'm gonna show you a basic technique, and you gotta be careful because it's very hard. So first of all, you wanna put the tip of the knife right here and go down until you hit the cutting board. And next you're gonna turn the lobster like this, and you wanna cut this way like this. Put your hand on the knife and you go down just like this. And then you have the lobster cut, and this is called a butterfly lobster tail, but we want to cut it completely in half, just like that. All right, and this is our half lobster tail that is ready to go in the bouillabaisse. That looks like that. I'm gonna show you. Oh my god, look at that color. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I think I can increase the temperature a little bit on that, start bubbling a little bit more, and we can add the lobster tail inside just like that. Let me see. All right, and I'm gonna put the lid back on and let it simmer there for about 15 minutes. All right, so I made bouillabaisse a couple of times, and it seems like 15 minutes. It's all the time that it needs. And while the stew is working, we can start working on the bread. So traditionally, bouillabaisse is served with the broth on the side over some croutons, or at least this is what French people call it. So I'm going to use this wonderful New York bread, and I'm going to cut it into thick slices. And then I'm going to put it in the oven. And for that purpose, I'm going to spread some butter on it. And then I'm just going to sprinkle a tiny little bit of truffle salt. And it doesn't need a lot of time, just like about 5 minutes under the broiler, and it's gonna come out just right. All right, so it's been 15 minutes and the bouillabaisse is ready, and this is what it looks like, and I'm ready to plate. All right, so this is my sauce. I'm just gonna put some in this plate with the fish and the lobster. Oh my god, this is going to be absolutely amazing. And the next thing that we're gonna do is actually, this is what we're gonna do. Oh la la. Just put it in this plate right here. Okay. So we have the broth here, and we're just gonna put the bread in the broth. And that's what it is. And we have this, and we have this. All right, trying the bouillabaisse. I've never made this before. This is my first time. I can't wait to try it. So let's see how the fish came out. Let's see, fish. Another one of that stock. Oh, fish is very, very nice. I love it, loving it. Wow, this is truly delicious. Let's see that lobster. So this is the lobster tail. I'm just gonna dip it in the broth. And let's try the Caribbean lobster. Wow. Outstanding. Wow. Very, very nice. The flavors are amazing. It tastes like saffron. It tastes a little bit like the fennel. The bread and the sauce. Oh my God. The truffle butter bread tastes absolutely amazing with the thick stew. Wow, this is absolutely incredible. Oh my God, that was absolutely amazing. It's always incredible when you make something for the first time and you discover that it's absolutely unique and delicious. This was a recipe by Paul Bocuse, and in his recipe, he uses fish and rock lobster, which I thought it's a great thing to use local fish and local lobster for that recipe, and it was absolutely amazing. The flavors were so delicate and delicious. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to stay tuned, now I'm going to show you how to make the fish fumet. To make the fish fumet, we first need to finely dice the shallot, these baby onions, and we slice the mushrooms, and we're gonna heat up our pot, put some butter, and cook them for a couple of minutes without browning them. Here I'm just going to cut the red snapper because I want to use that extra fish body. The next thing that I'm going to do is start cooking the fish bones in the pot for about 5 minutes before I add the white wine. After the fish has been cooking in the pot for about 5 minutes and it looks like that, we're going to add the bouquet garni that is made out of a leaf of a leek with some bay leaf, the thyme and the parsley, and we're just gonna put it on this, and we're gonna add half a bottle of the wine. So we have the fish bones, the bouquet garni, and we're gonna put the white wine inside, and we're gonna simmer a little bit until the white wine reduces, and then we're gonna add some water. All right, so the wine has been reducing for about 5 to 10 minutes, and it looks like this. Oh my God, it's so much steam. Can't really see what it looks like, but we're gonna add 3 quarts of water. All right, so the water took away some of that steam, and this is what it looks like. I'm gonna simmer this for 20 minutes without adding any salt or pepper, because once when the fumet is ready, you use it in dishes and then you apply your seasoning. If you season your fish stock, then it's getting a little tricky, because usually when you make sauce, you reduce that stock to concentrate the flavor, and it's not good to have seasoning because you might turn it too salty. All right, so as you can see, the stock has started to simmer gently, and we're gonna let it simmer like this for about 20 minutes on low heat. You don't want to boil it too high, because that way it tends to get a little fishy. And this is what happens when your fish fumet cools off. It turns into jello. I guess fish has a lot of gelatin in the bones, and this is what you will end up on the next day after you strain the fish fumet, and after you put it in the cooler, it turns into this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. If you have any questions, comments, please leave it in the comment section below.